Hi, my name is Ryan, and I recently took a trip to New York to ride on the Erie Canal towpath trail. I left from my home in the suburbs of Chicago on bicycle, and I got all the way there by using Amtrak, the Metra, and my bicycle. The logistics were daunting and anxiety-causing for me, as an American who's used to just throwing things in my car and going. The plan with this video is to show how easy the process is for anyone else who might want to ride on this trail and bring their bicycle with them and use the Amtrak to do it. Because after doing it, I can assure you, it is a worthwhile thing to do. Basically, I want to show you the video that I wanted to see before I took this trip. The steps are actually really easy, and I'll show you all of them. From buying the tickets, securing the bike reservation, how to check the bike, the various Amtrak lines that service the Erie Canal, and I'll even show you a safe bike route to get you all the way from the Buffalo Depew train station to Canalside, mile 0 of the Erie Canal Trail. So during this video, I'm going to show you the trip that I took, which is from the Chicago suburbs using the Lake Shore Limited train from Chicago to Buffalo. And then the same train back from Rochester to Chicago. But there are other options depending on your needs, where in the nation you are coming from. The Erie Canal Trail goes into the same towns as the Amtrak in Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Utica, Schenectady, and Albany. You can ride the whole trail, part of the trail, or even stay in the Buffalo area and ride up to Niagara Falls. The first step is to book the ticket. You can use the website or the app, and I'll show you both. I recommend getting the app even if you book online, because you can check the status of the train while on the go, from the train station or from the train itself. Now we're on the main page. We've put in our departure station and our destination station. We've selected a date. I've gone ahead a few months into the future, and you can see coach tickets from $84 and private rooms from $378. Now this is 3 months in advance. Let's take a look real quick and see what happens if I put tomorrow's date in. The price almost doubled. There's still tickets available, but man, it pays to book early. You also might be wondering why there's a 448 and a 48. Both are Lakeshore Limited, both leave and arrive at the same time. Well, they're the same train. The train leaves from Chicago and goes all the way to Albany as one big long train, and then in Albany they split it up, and the 448 goes to Boston, and then the 48 goes to New York City. First, make your selection on your date of travel, your preferred type of seating, coach or sleeping car, and then add it to the cart. Personally, I took coach. I think sleeping car is a better option given that this is an overnight train, and if you can afford it, let her rip. Unfortunately, you have to do this before seeing if there is any bicycle availability. Once you have selected your preferred type of seating, add to cart, hit next. The next screen shows baggage. It will show an option to add a bicycle down here on the bottom left, if there is availability. If there are no bicycle spots available, this bicycle box simply won't be there. Don't go forward from there with the ticket on that date because you won't be able to take your bicycle on board. If you are riding a folding bicycle, you can carry it on or check it as one of your 2 check-ons without need for a bicycle reservation. One reason why I very highly recommend getting the app is so that you can make changes on the fly. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. Right here on my app, if we go to the My Trips tab, you can see that I have 2 canceled trips. I originally was planning to go back from Schenectady, and then I changed it to Utica. And when the weather changed on us, I changed it last second over to Rochester. I was able to do this in a driveway in Pittsburgh about 5 hours before it took off. Now I'm going to show you how I did that real quick. So I'm going to go to book. And if you go to the very top up here, book a trip. I already put it in. We're going to pick our from station and our to station, from Rochester to Chicago, and then the departure date. It just defaults to today's day, and that's what I did. I booked it at about 6 p.m., and the train left at 11:49 p.m. Then you hit Find Trains. It'll say Searching for Trips. And we can see that even today, there's some available. There's even private rooms left. We hit Coach. And this is why you go with Flex, so that if you have to make these changes, if you make a change later on, if I like when I changed my trip from Schenectady to Utica back to Rochester, I was able to get refunds, full refund if canceled before departure. So then you hit continue, and just like you know what I did? I hit the 449. The 449 has no bicycle availability, so I gotta hit the 49. There we go. 49, flex, continue. The 449 goes out to Boston. That's the section of train that goes to Boston. The baggage car does not travel with that. So we have to book on the 49 to get bicycle availability. And now, as you can see, that there's bicycle availability, $20 a piece. We have one, add it to cart, and it comes right up. And that's one of the reasons why I highly recommend using the app instead of booking online, or at least getting the app so that you can check everything and make changes on the fly. Now I've selected my train, I've got my date, I've packed up all my gear, and it's time to go. I have also put tags with my name, address, phone number, and email address on all my checked baggage, my bicycle, and my carry-on, as per Amtrak's policy. So I have to get to Chicago Union Station from where I live all the way out in the suburbs. And for that, I've selected riding to the Metra station, hopping on the Metra, and going to Chicago Ogilvie Station, which is about 3 blocks away from Chicago Union Station, and then riding my bike down Clinton on a protected bicycle lane the rest of the way into Union Station.
Love you.
The journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first pedal stroke. And here I leave out of my own driveway. No Ubers, no taxis, no cars, with nothing more than what will fit in 2 pannier bags, a backpack, and a small frame bag. Just very recently, just in the past few years, Metra changed their policy and allows you to bring bicycles on any of the handicapped cars, not just the special bicycle car. Which means any of their routes will allow for bicycles. You just gotta bring it up in one trip, and then secure it by the area with the folding seats, and sit with it when you're there. I was not the only person this day taking advantage of this service. When I left, it was a sunny day, and by the time I get downtown, there is a dust storm. That's right, Chicago's only dust storm since the Dust Bowl in the 1930s hit while I was on the train. The dust storm caused bad traffic conditions, but not for me. See all that out there? That's traffic that I'm not in. As I exit Metra's UP Northwest line into Ogilvie Transportation Center, I'm only 3 blocks away from where I need to be at Chicago's Union Station. And it's actually a lot easier to get there than you might suspect, especially when you have a bicycle. Clinton Street offers a protected bicycle lane the entire way, and it just so happens to be that the appropriate entrance for you to go in with a bicycle is the Clinton Street entrance. Chicago Union Station really couldn't be easier. There's one great big room, and then there's a little room off to the side. You go in that little room off to the side, and you see where it says "To all trains"? That's where you need to go. Find the board, find your train, and it'll tell you what track you'll be departing from. That way you know what direction you need to go towards. If you bought a sleeper car, you get to hang out in the Metropolitan Lounge. If not, you get to hang out with me out here. If you have any questions at all, find the red caps. They are very helpful.
Excuse me, where do I go to check bags?
Now, the question you're wondering, we gotta check our bags, and we gotta check our bike. So how do we do it? Real easy. Follow me, let's go. We take a right here, and then that little Amtrak counter on the left, we go there. Unfortunately, I cut my camera out right at this point, but it's actually really easy. All you do is you walk up to the agent, you tell him what you want to check. Me, I checked my 2 pannier bags and the bicycle. You tell him you have a bicycle, but you don't give him the bicycle. You do give him your checked bags. You take a tag for your bicycle, you put it on your bicycle, and you bring your bicycle with you. So just to be clear, you check in your bicycle at the checked baggage stand, but you do not give them your bicycle because the Lake Shore Limited has train-side checked service, and you bring the bicycle yourself to the baggage car. It's real easy. Let me show you how I do it.
I'm going to meet you back here for your get your bike on. Okay. Give me. I gotta get the line report. I'll be there in 5 minutes. The bike, baggage car. Yep. Thank you.
By the way, did you see how easy it was to scan that e-ticket? That's another reason why I would recommend getting the app.
Sitting here, waiting for them to come by so I can load up my bike. Here the guy comes. All right, here we go.
The pannier bags have to be removed. However, the frame bags can stay, as long as the bike is light enough that I can hand it up to him.
Thank you. So in Buffalo, you'll come back here and get it, okay?
Straight to the car?
Yep.
Appreciate it. On the Amtrak. Only person on my car. Look at that. Whole coach car to myself so far.
It's about 9 in the morning and we are pulling into Buffalo Depew train station.
Watch your step going down, please.
Thank you.
At this train station, at the current moment, they are doing some work, so the entire platform is not open, and they had to stop the train 3 times. That is to say, they had to stop the train, let a third of the passengers off, pull it forward, let the next third off, and then pull it forward one more time.
Buffalo Depew. Not technically in Buffalo, it's a suburb called Depew, but I'm at the Amtrak station, and this is the beginning. Got about 20 miles to ride today, and then we start the main ride tomorrow. Today is just logistical. Just gotta wait for them to move the train over so I can get my baggage off, and then I'm good to go. I need to get a bicycle off. I just got off here.
We're gonna respot for guys.
Awesome, thank you.
Alright, finally they have the train arranged so that we can have access to the baggage car.
Yeah.
That means I need to run back to the car to get my bicycle. I don't get it from the baggage claim inside.
For the bicycle. Mine are all attached together, so I still got 2 more bags on.
Okay.
I give her my 3 baggage claim tickets. She gives me the bicycle. And instead of loading up the bags and giving them to me inside, they actually give them to me right here. It was really nice.
Oh, I would have had that.
And I'm just going to let this run at regular speed, no edits, because I just want you to see how incredibly easy this was. I was on the road within a minute.
Very much.
You're welcome.
I got it. Perfect. Have a good day.
Now compare this for just a second to the logistics of an airplane bicycle trip where you have to put the bicycle together from a box once you get where you're going. Or even a car bicycle trip where you have to find parking, you have to stop for gas, and you have to watch out for angry road ragers. Wow. This is a stark difference.
Okay, here we are, Buffalo Depew, New York. Got my bicycle behind me. Just got everything off the train. My 2 checked bags, the pannier bags, and the bicycle itself. Now I'm ready to go. It's a beautiful day. There's potentially some rain later, but it's not gonna be for a few hours. I got plenty of time to get where I'm going first. And the one thing that I thought would happen did happen, and that's, I'm starting off this ride a little sleep deprived because I slept in coach last night, and it's not the best sleep in the world, but I'm here. Cost $100 and I'm here in Buffalo, New York. Love it.
Now, it should be noted that there are 2 Amtrak stations in Buffalo, New York. The Exchange Street station is closest to where we need to go. However, the Lake Shore Limited, the train that I brought in, does not go to that station. So I'm coming out of the Buffalo Depew station. So this is where we are, and this is where we want to be. So let's get there safely. Now we have options. You can sit around and wait 6 hours for another train to show up to take a 13-minute train ride across town. You can wait for a bus that shows up once every 68 minutes and take 2 transfers to get downtown. And yes, you can carry your bicycle on the bus, and it only costs $2. You could pay a bunch of money for an Uber. Or we can take an hour bike ride.
Buffalo Depew, New York. New York.
The first step is we go right out of the parking lot, and then we take a left onto southbound Dick Road. Then we're going to go left at Broadway and continue our southbound journey on Indian Road. This will bring us away from the commercial center and away from the thicker traffic areas.
Okay, now we take Indian Road South to Como Park Boulevard. And I've left Chicago and that wind is still coming up out of the south. The wind is coming right up in my face no matter what way I go. All the way from my home to the Cary train station. All the way from Ogilvy to Union, and now I get off the train in Buffalo and that wind is still right in my face. Indian Road, Depew, New York. Como Park Boulevard, here we go. So this was really the part that I was kind of worried about. It's just getting to here. Because from here on, it's pretty smooth sailing. This is quite a bike lane. I'll take this. I'll take this any day of the week. Full park. And look at this. I was worried about going on the sidewalk here, but it's listed as a bike route. So we're going north on Union, and those tracks up ahead, there should be a bike path, and that'll get me about 1.5 miles through the city without having to see a single car. And that'll take me from the suburbs to about where the city starts. Oh, I'm all right. All right, man. Here we go. Now we're officially heading on to a bike trail.
Now, in selecting this route, I spent about a month looking over maps, and I tried to make it 3 things.
Traffic's not been bad. Of course, it's 9 in the morning.
Those 3 things are scenic, safe, and safe. And yes, I just said safe twice. But first, let's talk about scenic. I want to see a lot of Buffalo. I mean, that's what I'm here to do. I've never been here before. Let's check it out. I picked a route that was safe in more than one way.
Morning.
Number 1, I wanted roads that were good cycling roads. That is, roads that were light on traffic, roads that were possibly dedicated cycling
People
routes.
wearing Bill shirts, saying good morning.
The other safe I'm referring to is in terms of crime safety. Buffalo's east side is known as a potentially high crime area, and I would like to avoid that. So we're going to stick to the south and avoid some of the higher crime neighborhoods.
So, I am running parallel to the railroad tracks. I think the neighborhood is called Sloan, somewhere around there. I'm heading towards Kaisertown. And this is the trail that's going to take me from the suburbs to the city without a whole lot of cars. Or even other bicyclists for that matter. I've only seen one other bicyclist on this trail. But felt a few raindrops so far, but nothing to write home about. I do have rain gear. I got fenders on my bike. I'm not worried about it. Once I get through Kaisertown, then I keep heading south and make it through the old First Ward. And it's a cool little bar out there, but it's like 10 in the morning. So I was told there's this beer you gotta try out there, Red Clover, but by the time I get there, it's gonna be like 10 in the morning. I don't want a beer. Slipping around, look at this highway. All right, approaching Buffalo. Not even sure what town I'm in anymore, but it's windy, it's overcast, looks like it's gonna rain, and it's right at that in-between weather. I had my sweater on, starting to get sweaty. I take it off, now I'm a little cold. I think it's right around 65 degrees. But I have no complaints. Everybody I've seen so far has been really nice. Honestly, this reminds me just a lot of the Midwest. There's a lot like just the rest of the Rust Belt. Bunch of junk cars over there. Big junk car lot. Now, here we are. We're on to the street. My little trail is over. I spent a month planning this, and I'm like halfway there. This town's a lot smaller than I was giving it credit for. Traffic is incredibly light, and there's just not really a lot of people here. All bicyclists must dismount and walk bicycle along the sidewalk. Okay?
Yeah, so I could take that Williams all the way in. Except for I don't know, number one, how bike safe it is. I kind of try to pick back roads. But man, what a sweet little area. Honestly, I would live here. This is really beautiful. I have to take this Dingens Road across, I think across that highway. This one takes me somewhere, I forget where. But nice wide shoulder, minimal traffic. The headwind is fucked, but everything else is good. That's another bicyclist. He's got himself an e-bike.
Now we're going to turn left onto southbound Rossler.
Rossler, this is my road, okay. Alright. What I can gather looking online, this area is not really, they have a lot of riding on the sidewalk type laws, but I think this is my safest option right here. Get across this highway.
During my entire time in New York, I only had 2 careless drivers, and both of them were on the same road, but I still like to be as safe as possible.
Only have to be on the sidewalk for about a block. That's one of those things where it's like, you follow the law, you're gonna get yourself killed. Let's get through this intersection. Okay. Oh, I think this might be the first place where I have to pull out the map. I think I go straight here, but let's consult the map to be sure. Alright, Fernwood Drive. Gotta take this over to Ogden. And then fingers crossed, because on the Google Maps the bridge was out.
Turning left onto southbound Ogden. So, coming up on the Ogden Avenue Bridge, and I just wanted to get footage of this because in Google Maps, it wasn't here. And in the street view, it was the old one, so I couldn't tell if they had completed the bridge yet. And you see why I ride the sidewalk sometimes.
Okay. Now once I'm over Ogden, I gotta go through Kaisertown. And then I make it to the old First Ward. And then I'm at the riverfront. It was like really easy. This was a very, very, very easy ride. Traffic was light. Cars, other than that last Nissan, were nice. What that guy's problem was. And this is why we ride the sidewalk, even when there is a law against it. Okay, Mineral Spring. This is one where I ride the sidewalk. They're passing you like it's still the suburbs, so I don't think we're in the city quite yet. Or maybe I just got a couple assholes. Or idiots. I don't know. On the entire trip, those were the only 2 careless drivers. All the way from my home in Chicago area, all the way to Buffalo, all the way to Rochester, and then back home. Only 2. Here's Ryan.
Okay. My original route was to go through that park behind me, but I realized this street's got my name all over it. No, my name's not Frank. Now we're around Buffalo South Side, coming up on the Cazenovia Park neighborhood. It's kind of, reminds me of any old world neighborhood. Houses are close together, fairly uniform, fairly large, fairly nice, but maybe a little run down. Looks like maybe the place you'd see on a map and think, oh, it's a little rough. But the people seem pretty nice. Seneca. Pretty sure we're still in Cazenovia Park. Now the line's kind of blurred between these next two neighborhoods, so I'm not exactly sure. Alright. There's a large drainage ditch, culvert, river, whatever you want to call it over here. Always stop.
I always feel nervous that I'm going to get doored in this type of situation. The south side has a lot of these painted bicycle gutters, which are not ideal for cycling, but I never really felt unsafe. Traffic was light. The only thing I was nervous I was going to get a flat tire out here.
If I turn left here, that'll take me down to Tift. That'll be a nice, interesting piece of scenery to see, but I'm just trying to get to the waterfront as quick as I can. And I want to see the old First Ward, so I'm going to go this way down South Park Avenue. That is a Tesla Gigafactory. Alright, we are recording.
As a bicyclist, I much prefer the safety and comfort of a protected bicycle lane, but the south side of Buffalo gets a lot of snow, so if I were responsible for plowing these roads and the bicycle lanes, I would probably do it the same way. And here I take a wrong turn, thinking I'm going down into the First Ward on the first one after the tracks, but there were actually two sets of tracks.
Some sort of military type thing, but
if I had kept going, there was actually a wonderful park on the other side of that little wall. Whoops, should have kept going.
oh shit, this was not the one I was supposed to turn down.
I didn't know where I was.
I was supposed to turn down the next one.
Took a wrong turn. Whoops.
Let's just cruise.
Now, here's the turn that I meant to take, Fitzgerald Street. If you go straight on the street, there's a cool little coffee shop and a bar, but if you go left on the street, it'll take you to another little bar. And you'll see when we ride past how cool of a bar this is.
Believe it or not, this is one of the neighborhoods I was really kind of looking forward to seeing. This is the old First Ward neighborhood, and I'm coming up on Gene McCarthy's. So, let's see, is that Gene's right there, or do I gotta go left? Oh no, that's the Burbs shop. Okay, heading south on Hamburg. Now I'm coming up on Gene McCarthy's. They got bus stops and bike lanes all over this town. It means the traffic is just not that bad.
Imagine chaining your bike up out there, stopping, having a beer, and a nice meal. Place opens at 11. I'm too early, and it's a little cold. We're going to carry on one block south, and we're finally going to be at the Buffalo Riverfront at Mutual Riverfront Park, where we get to take some photo opportunities in front of Silo City. And we're here. We're at the water. You made it. Pat yourself on the back, because we are only a few blocks away from Canalside, the starting point of the Erie Canal Trail. We're on the water. Here we are.
Well, it's well known that I like to ride my bike. So I took off on my bike yesterday around 5 o'clock. And I have not touched an automobile since. And here I am in New York. Buffalo, New York to be exactly. That's the Buffalo River. And that is Silo City. That is the remnants of the old industrial neighborhood on the south side of Buffalo. Pretty nifty. Pretty nifty to go 1,000 miles without touching an automobile in the United States of America. And to have my bike with me in another city.
Now, I show up in the springtime, so I didn't see much other than a few people out fishing. But if you show up in the summertime, you'll see a bunch of people out putting kayaks in the water. Quite a vibrant area. I'm going to continue on, take a left at St. Clair, and I am 1 block away from the Empire State Trail.
Gotta go left here along St. Clair. And this pretty much concludes my my planned ride through the neighborhood. Now I'm coming up into Buffalo downtown. Then I head up to Elmwood Village. Hopefully see some of Porch Fest. And then I meet up with everybody. And maybe get some food and some sleep.
We are on the Empire State Trail. We have a protected bicycle lane all the way up to Canalside.
Here we are.
So we're going to continue north on the Empire State Trail. It's pretty difficult to get lost, If you want to stop and have a beer, there's the Resurgence Brewing Company. And if you want to stop for something else, if it's that's your thing, there's a dispensary right there. We're going to continue on. We'll be at Canalside in about 2 minutes. And congratulations, you did it. We are at the very beginning of the Erie Canal Trail. So at this point, it's only about 10:30 in the morning if your train was on time. You can start the Erie Canal Trail today and make it all the way up to Lockport or Middleport. Or you can hang out in town. There's a lot of cool things to see. That's what I did. And if you want to see any of that, check out some of my other videos. Thanks for watching.